My name is Tim Fazio. I am a managing partner and co-founder of Atlas Holdings. Atlas Holdings is a firm that buys distressed and challenged industrial businesses. We fix them and we run them for the long term.
My name is Carolyn Lee. I'm the Executive Director of the Manufacturing Institute. The Institute is the workforce and education partner of the National Association of Manufacturers. Our mission is to build the workforce of today and to attract the workforce of tomorrow.
So Carolyn, we just finished up the diversity and inclusion panel at Industrial Exchange. And I was wondering if you could tell me, what's the best thing that you've seen a manufacturer do to really build their diversity and inclusion program in their business?
Sure, that's a great question. I think what we've found is that diversity and inclusion is no longer a nice to do, it's a business imperative. And manufacturers are putting programs into place more and more. And so I think as far as the best thing to do, you need, I think, two factors to really encompass it. You need executive ownership and leadership, really a commitment from the top, not just as a goal, although a goal is important, but that ownership and that drive and commitment, that this is an important thing, not a once in a while check a box, but really an important business strategy. And then fueling the growth of employee resource groups, on the ground and grassroots activity where employees of different experiences and different diversities can come together and really share their own experience, help each other, learn, grow, network, and then also be a great resource for you in order to solve problems as that executive leader. So it's really, you need a strategy and you need to work on it from both directions.
So have you ever, because sometimes what happens is you have an organization that's very homogeneous and you want to start moving in the direction of embracing diversity and inclusion, but you kind of need to jumpstart it somehow. And have you ever seen anybody sort of do any sort of interesting jumpstart programs?
Well, I mean, we actually talked about this a little bit today. Jumpstarting is important, and I think if you step back, now this does happen a lot, particularly in some of the financial business, and I know we talked about this a little bit today. If everybody went to the same school and had the same professors and had the same degree and pedigree and everybody came out together, that's a challenge. And so it could be as simple as go to a different school, think about, okay, we've always gone to these two, maybe add two that are a little bit far afield from where you've gone in the past. But, think about it, because it's not just, although ethnic diversity and gender diversity are really the key drivers, and we talk a lot about that for a lot of good reasons. It's really, think about the diversity experience. Did someone come into the sector mid-career and had a different career before that? Think about those diversities internal to your own group, because you could think, okay, we're all same age group, same school pedigree, same, we've traveled the same course. And if that is the case, then you need to think, okay, what do we do now? We need to go out, make a commitment, and make some changes. But you also can take a broader look at it and say, wait, you came in mid-career, you did something else, you have this experience. Bring us some new ideas to fuel our growth as we start down the path. But so even if you haven't started yet, it's never too late to start,
right. But
you have to make a decision, someone has to own it, and someone has to be committed to driving a diversity and inclusion strategy, and you gotta begin.
Right. So are you seeing any changes kind of in manufacturing? Because manufacturing historically, particularly at the rank and file level, has been mostly men in most environments. But are you starting to see changes in that world? Yeah,
absolutely. So today in manufacturing, it's about 79% male, majority white males, and then you have about 29% of the manufacturing workforce is female. And but that's up. About 5-6 years ago, it was about 24%. So we have made a little bit of strides, and that is something we're really proud of. We have a nationwide women's initiative, which we call our STEP Women's Initiative, and we are fueling the growth of women in manufacturing by highlighting those leaders that are there, highlighting and creating mentors, and helping them pay it forward to bring more women in. And look, the whole goal here is that we need diversity of thought and experience and ideas and problem solving and solutions. We need those people to come to the table. And so we also have a challenge in manufacturing. We've got about about 476,000 open jobs in the sector. And so if we're going to fill those jobs, we're going to need more people.
Right.
And that means we need to be playing with the full deck and have all of the population feel like there's a place for them and not just one segment, which is the white male segment
Right.
that has been dominant for so long. And so it's really key that we actually make a change.
So I'm going to throw you for a little bit of
Sure.
a loop here, away from the diversity and inclusion, but down the same path you were just talking about, which is, we have a massive shortage of skilled workers
Absolutely.
in this country. Electricians, welders, pipe fitters, that sort of thing. How are you guys thinking about that issue?
Absolutely. So we believe that one of the biggest challenges we have in manufacturing on the workforce is really the perception of the sector. And so we spent a lot of time at the Manufacturing Institute doing things to change the view, and that people don't think of manufacturing as this thing from yesteryear and it's dark and boring, that you're just punching a widget for 40 years. That is hardly what manufacturing looks like today. So we need to tell a better story. We need to, and we do this every year, we have National Manufacturing Day, and we help companies open their doors, bring in their local communities, their policymakers, the schools, all ages, from starting kindergarten all the way up through CTE programs, and bring people in. But we have to tell a different story about the opportunity in the sector, and that there is a place for people with skills to learn, to grow, to continue to move up in their careers and build new skills and add new skills. And we need to also change the national dialogue about the value of skilled workers, and that it is, yes, absolutely electricians and pipe fitters and welders, and everyone needs welders, but it's also maintenance techs and operators and all of those things. I mean, there is a huge shortage in maintenance technicians, because if you can't keep your equipment running, you can't make your product. And so all of this is highly valued, and we need to tell a different story, and we work a lot on that at the Manufacturing Institute, in order that parents say, hey, that is a good career for my kid, or that a student says, wait a minute, I don't really want to just sit in an office all day. I've always liked solving problems. I've always liked building things or fixing things. This is my career path.
Right. I mean, I think one of the traps that people tend to get into in high schools are that, your guidance counselor tells you, hey, you should go to a four-year college.
Right.
Somebody ends up going to kind of not a top-tier four-year college. They pile on a bunch of debt. And meanwhile, they could have been sort of pushed down a different path. And I sort of wonder how we can get to those folks to start telling people about this path.
No, that's a huge issue. I was actually out on the State of Manufacturing tour, the National Association of Manufacturers State of Manufacturing tour, and we were in Minnesota, and I was talking to a young woman. I thought she was really young. She was about 27, and she was in a welding program, and she was in her second year, about to graduate, and I said to her, how'd you end up in this program? And she said, well, actually, I have a bachelor's in art history, and I've been working in food service, and I really didn't feel like there was a future there, and I heard about this, and now I just wish that I had just skipped all the rest and just came straight here. We need to tell those stories, and we need to have people say, wait, this is a value, but we need to change the narrative. We need to make sure that guidance counselors and teachers, and especially the parents, see that technical training and skills training is valuable, especially as we move into this automated economy.
That is not sort of a second tier.
It's not a second tier. It's not the other, oh, you didn't make it. It is actually of high value.
But you could become a welder and also have an English major.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
And we need,
and make $100,000 a year.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're a welder down on the Gulf Coast and you can do, underwater, I mean, you're making, close to $200,000, and those are high skill jobs. And if you think about just the everyday skill jobs you encounter as a homeowner, right? Have a good electrician or a good plumber. That is invaluable, and they make really good money, and they set their own hours, and they can run their own business, and it's excellent. So we need to change the dialogue that it's not this or that, and it's this other, but actually we need everybody in the economy, and we need to have opportunity, and there's opportunity down all these paths. And so we have to think about how we talk about it, and we need to show them the opportunity that's there.
So how's your experience been at Industrial Exchange?
It's awesome. It's a really interesting combination of two worlds. I don't know that they've ever really crossed at such density as the experience over the last couple of days. And it's been really interesting to me in having conversations with folks on the financial side as they're looking in on manufacturing, as I spend so much time in manufacturing, talking about the challenges we face. And so it's clear, as we want to grow this economy, the partnership here is important. And so bringing this community together is a terrific effort.